What's up everybody, blessed be, my name is Manon and you are watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and around, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. This video offers my personal views on the topic at hand. Please visit me on my other platforms as well, including Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon, all linked down in the description below. The full script of this video and most of the others is available on my Patreon account for download if desired to build your very own Witch in the Working Book of Shadows. Do you need help with a spell or a fancy tarot reading? Shoot on over to my store, Bewitching and Bizarre, with choices listed down in the description below for your personalized working and or reading. Hey everyone, welcome to this deep dive into the world of witchcraft, where we're going to peel back the layers, bust a few myths, and explore what it really means to walk this path. Now, I know there's a lot of talk out there about spells and rituals, candles and cauldrons, but today I want to show you that being a witch isn't just about what you do, it's about how you live. So grab a comfy seat, maybe a cup of tea, and let's talk about what makes a witch a witch. We're going to explore everything from spellcasting and why it's not the be-all end-all, to the everyday magic woven into simple acts like watching the sunrise or tending your garden. Whether you're brand new to this or you've been at it for years, I promise there's something here for you. At the end of the day, witchcraft is a journey that's as unique as you are. So let's get curious, let's get real, and most importantly, let's make some space to celebrate the magic that lives inside all of us. Ready to dive into it? Roll intro. Welcome back everyone. Alright folks, let's kick things off by getting right to the heart of it. What does it actually mean to be a witch? You know, it's one of those questions that can be as simple or as deep as you want to make it. For some people, it's about casting spells and doing ritual work. For others, it's about connecting to nature and feeling that spark of magic in everyday life. But here's the thing, at its core, being a witch is a personal journey that can look wildly different from person to person. First off, let's clear up a bit of confusion. Witchcraft and Wicca aren't exactly the same thing depending on who you ask. But for the masses of today's society, Wicca is a specific religion that falls under the umbrella of witchcraft, with its own beliefs, deities, and practices. But witchcraft, that's a much bigger pond, and it's full of all sorts of fish. Some who love casting spells, some who don't, and some who just like hanging out and talking to their plants. So whether you're a Wiccan, a solitary practitioner, or you're just starting to dip your toes in, there's no single right way to be a witch. When you hear the word witch, what pops into your mind? Maybe an old crone hunched over a bubbling cauldron, or someone dancing under the full moon. That's the image a lot of us grew up with, thanks to fairy tales and movies. But in real life, it's a lot broader and honestly way cooler. Being a witch is about living with intention, working with the energy around you, and finding magic in the little things, like how the sun feels on your skin, or the way a gust of wind can make you feel alive. One thing I always like to remind folks is that witchcraft is not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's a path that you shape with your own two hands. Some witches love their fancy ritual tools and dramatic incantations, while others might just find a quiet spot in the woods and feel at home. There's no need to have a perfectly curated altar or a bunch of dusty old grimoires to be legit. If you're feeling called to the craft, whatever that looks like for you, that's enough. It's also worth mentioning that being a witch isn't just about what you do, it's about how you see the world. It's about seeing the magic in your morning cup of tea, feeling the pull of the moon, or noticing the patterns in the seasons. It's a mindset, a way of living where everything can be a little bit enchanted if you look at it with the right kind of eyes. For beginners, this can be a relief because it takes the pressure off. You don't have to know all the fancy correspondences or have every herb in your cupboard labeled in Latin. Witchcraft grows with you. As you walk the path, you'll find what resonates and what doesn't. You might love working with crystals, or you might prefer the simplicity of a quiet meditation by candlelight. It's all good. Every witch's journey is unique. For the more seasoned practitioners, maybe you've been at this for years. Even then, it's important to remember that your identity as a witch doesn't hinge on how many spells you cast or how elaborate your rituals are. Sometimes it's about going back to basics, reconnecting with what made you fall in love with this path in the first place. Whether you're advanced or just starting out, there's always something new to learn and explore. What I find most beautiful about being a witch is that it's a relationship, a dance between you and the world around you. You're not just following a set of rules. You're creating your own rhythm, your own song. That's what what makes it so powerful. You're honoring the cycles of nature, tuning into your intuition, and weaving your own kind of magic into your daily life. So are you a witch if you don't cast spells every week? Hell yes you are. If you feel that pull, if you're in tune with the cycles of the earth, if you find yourself talking to the moon or listening to the wind, you're walking the path. And that's what it's all about. Trusting yourself and embracing your own magic, however it wants to show up. Alright, let's dive in and talk about one of the most iconic parts of witchcraft, spells. Whenever people think of witches, they usually imagine someone in a pointy hat, waving a wand and muttering some ancient incantation. And while that's a fun image, the real story of spellcasting is a bit more nuanced and honestly a lot more approachable. So what exactly is a spell? At its core, a spell is really just focused energy mixed with intention. It's about taking your hopes, dreams, or needs and giving them a little boost through ritual. You might light a candle, say some words that feel powerful to you, or use symbols and herbs that resonate with your goal. The idea is that you're not just sitting around hoping something will happen. You're putting your will out there, making a mark on the universe. Now here's the fun part. Casting spells is super personal. There's no single right way to do it, and you don't need to memorize a bunch of fancy chants or have a huge stash of mystical tools. Some witches love the drama and the flair, candles of every color, intricate sigils, the whole 9 yards. Others keep it chill, maybe just whispering a quiet wish over their morning coffee or scribbling a quick sigil in their notebook. It's all about what feels natural to you. But here's the kicker. While spellcasting is definitely a cool part of witchcraft, it's not the only thing that makes someone a witch. Some witches cast spells every day. Some never cast them at all, and that's perfectly okay. Witchcraft is a big sprawling path with lots of forks in the road, and spellcasting is just one way to walk it. Let's break it down a bit more. For some folks, spells are like exercises for the soul, little rituals that keep them connected to their practice and remind them of their power. Lighting a candle for protection, doing a prosperity spell before a job interview, or crafting a simple charm to keep in your pocket can all be ways of reinforcing your intentions and sending a clear message to the universe. For others though, spellcasting doesn't really speak to them. Maybe they are more into meditation or energy work, or maybe they prefer to work with the cycles of the moon and the seasons, tuning into the natural flow of the world without feeling the needs to do a formal spell. That's just as valid and just as magical. After all, intention is very important, and there are countless ways to bring intention into your daily life. One of the coolest things about witchcraft is that it's not about ticking boxes or following a set of strict rules. If spells don't resonate with you, that doesn't make you any less of a witch. It just means your path is a little different, and that's something to be celebrated, not questioned. Witchcraft has always been about adapting and evolving, making it your own. For those of you who are more advanced in your practice, you probably already know that spells are often about symbolism and psychology as much as they are about magic. The colors you choose, the herbs you work with, even the words you speak. These are all ways of focusing your mind and aligning your energy with what you're trying to achieve. But they're not the only ways to work magic. You might find that a simple walk in the woods or a few minutes of quiet reflection can be just as powerful. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? Spells are tools, not requirements. They're like a paintbrush for your soul, something you can pick up when you feel inspired, but not something you have to force yourself to do if it doesn't feel right. The real magic comes from you, from your heart, and from your will. Whether you're crafting an elaborate ritual or just holding a quiet intention in your mind, that's where the true power lies. So to wrap this up, are spells central to witchcraft? For some, absolutely. For others, not so much. And that's what makes the craft so beautifully flexible. You're still a witch if you never cast a single spell in your life, because in the end, it's about how you live, how you connect to the world, and how you honor that spark of magic within you. Let's take a step back for a moment and talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. How rich and fulfilling witchcraft can be without ever lighting a candle or chanting a single spell. That's right, witchcraft goes way beyond spellcasting. It's a whole lifestyle, a perspective that seeps into everything you do, from your morning coffee to how you greet the moon at night. Now, don't get me wrong, spells are definitely a powerful part of the craft for those who vibe with them. But let's be real, there are tons of ways to live as a witch that don't involve writing out elaborate chants or gathering a mountain of herbs. Let's chat about what that can look like and why it's just as valid and magical. First up, let's talk about meditation. Simple, right? Sitting in stillness and focusing your mind is one of the oldest forms of magic there is. When you meditate, you're not just calming your thoughts, you're opening yourself up to messages from your higher self, spirit guides, or even the universe itself. Meditation can be a daily ritual, a mini vacation for your mind and soul that lets you tune into your intuition. Then there's energy work. You don't need a wand to work with energy. Your hands, your breath, your mind are all more than enough. Energy healing practices like Reiki, aura cleansing, or even just visualizing light and warmth in your body can shift how you feel and how you move through the world. These practices help you feel connected to the flow of life, the currents of energy that dance through everything around us. Of course, no talk about witchcraft would be complete without mentioning nature. One of the core tenets of the craft is connecting to the natural world. You can spend an afternoon walking in the woods, gardening, or even just tending to a potted plant on your windowsill. These simple acts root you in the cycles of the earth, watching the seasons turn, feeling the breeze on your face, and listening to the song of the birds. Nature is one of the greatest teachers, and for a witch, that connection is sacred. Divination is another way to practice the craft that doesn't require casting spells. Tools like tarot cards, runes, pendulums, or scrying mirrors can help you tap into your subconscious and see the bigger picture. But even without tools, you can practice divination by simply paying attention, listening to your dreams, noticing patterns in the world around you, or letting your intuition guide your decisions. For those who've been on this path a while, you know that some of the deepest magic doesn't come from big flashy rituals. It comes from quiet moments like sitting by a window with a warm cup of tea, breathing in the steam and feeling your soul settle. That's magic. Or taking a moment to speak to your ancestors, lighting a candle in their honor, and feeling that connection stretch across time. That's powerful. Let's not forget about ancestral work. Honoring the people who came before you can be deeply moving and spiritually nourishing. You don't need a big ceremony. Just a photo on your altar, a whispered thank you, or a small offering of food or drink can weave the threads of your family's past into your present. This kind of work anchors you, reminding you that you're part of something bigger. For those who love working with spirits or deities, that's another huge part of witchcraft beyond spellcasting. Building relationships with these beings, offering them your respect and attention, can enrich your practice in ways no spell ever could. These connections teach you humility, patience, and trust, qualities that every witch needs, no matter how they practice. At the end of the day, what makes all of this so magical is the intention behind it. Whether you're brewing a cup of herbal tea to soothe your mind, journaling your dreams, or spending time in silence under the stars, you're working your craft. Witchcraft isn't just about what you do, it's about how you live, how you see the world, and how you carry that spark of magic within you. So if you're not into spells, don't sweat it. You're still a witch. You're still walking this path with your heart and soul. And that's what really matters, living with intention, honoring your spirit, and weaving a little magic into the everyday. Alright, let's dig into the heart of what makes witchcraft so dang cool, even when we're not casting spells or following a fancy ritual script. It's the power of intention. If you ask me, that's the real secret sauce of the craft. And here's the good news. You don't need a cauldron or a fancy set of candles to harness that power. It's something you can weave into everything you do every single day. So what does intention even mean? In the simplest terms, it's about doing things with purpose and focus. It's the difference between mindlessly going through the motions and actually putting your heart into something. In witchcraft, intention is what gives an action its magical oomph. Light a candle while you're thinking about what you're going to have for dinner. It's just a candle. Light it while you're thinking about protection or healing, and now you're talking. It's a spell in motion. But here's the beauty of intention. It's not locked away in ritual circles. It's something you can tap into at any moment. Pouring yourself a cup of tea can be a spell for self-love if you brew it with care and sip it slowly, thinking about nurturing yourself. Cleaning your space can be a cleansing ritual, sweeping away not just dust but stale energy. The key is that focused attention. You're not just doing, you're infusing every action with purpose. Magical living is all about bringing this mindset into everything you do. Think of it as coloring outside the lines of what people expect magic to be. You don't have to dress in robes or memorize ancient chants to live as a witch. It's about how you show up in the world, being present, connected, and aware of the energy you're putting out and the energy you're inviting in. For those of you who are newer to the craft, this can be a big relief. It means you're already doing magic every time you pause and ask yourself, what do I want this moment to feel like? Maybe you're cooking dinner, chopping veggies with care, and gratitude can be a way of honoring the earth's abundance. Or maybe you're taking a walk and breathing in the fresh air, feeling the wind on your face. That's you plugging into the rhythm of the earth and the flow of the energy around you. For the more experienced folks, you know that intention is what sets apart a spell that fizzles from one that sings. All the herbs and crystals in the world won't do much if you're not fully present in the work. That's why so many seasoned witches will tell you to ground yourself first, to center your mind and your heart before you even light that candle or whisper those words, because it's not about the props, it's about you and your connection to what you're creating. Magical living also means finding little ways to honor the cycles of nature and your own inner landscape. Maybe you mark the phases of the moon, tuning into how you feel during the waxing and waning. Or you pay attention to the turning of the seasons, letting those shifts guide your focus. It's about living in harmony with what's going on around you, not just powering through life on autopilot. One of the most powerful ways to bring intention into your daily life is through mindfulness. I know, it's a word that gets tossed around a lot, but at its core, it's about being right here, right now. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or talking to a friend, you're choosing to be present. That's potent magic because it roots you in the moment and helps you notice the subtle currents of energy that are always swirling around. For advanced practitioners, weaving intention into everything can become almost like a second skin. It's the quiet understanding that everything you do has a ripple effect. How you speak to others, how you care for yourself, even how you spend your time. You start to see magic in the everyday, a sunset, a sudden breeze, the warmth of your cat curled up next to you. You realize that your entire life can be a spell if you're living it with awareness and purpose. So whether you're just getting started or you've been walking this path for decades, remember, you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to work magic. Every moment is an opportunity to bring a little bit of intention and wonder into the world. And that, my friend, is what makes you a witch, whether you're crafting a ritual or simply breathing deeply and feeling the sun on your face. All right, here we are, the big question that's been hanging in the air this whole entire time. Are we still witches if we don't cast spells? It's one of those things that seems to come up over and over, especially for folks just starting out on the path, or for those who feel that they're not witchy enough because they're not always brewing potions or chanting incantations. So let's break it down and put those worries to rest. First things first. Witchcraft has never been a one-size-fits-all practice, as I mentioned earlier. At its heart, it's about how you live, how you connect with the world, and how you honor your own spirit. Sure, spells are one way to express that connection, but they're not the only way. Think of it like music. Some people love playing instruments, others just like to sing in the shower. Both are making music in their own way, and both are valid. The same goes for being a witch. If you're not called to cast spells right now or ever, that doesn't mean you're any less of a witch. Maybe your magic shows up in how you care for your garden, or how you offer a listening ear to a friend who needs it. Maybe it's in the way you honor the moon as it waxes and wanes, or how you find meaning in the quiet of a forest walk. All of that is magic, and it's all part of being a witch. For the beginners out there, it's important to remember that feeling. Not enough is a common hurdle. Social media and pop culture have this way of making us feel like witches should always be decked out in flowing robes with candles flickering and crystals gleaming. But here's the truth. Some of the most powerful witches I know don't even own a fancy robe. I mean, I don't personally. Their magic is in how they move through the world and the reverence they hold for the simple everyday things. For those of you who have been at this for years, you probably know that there are seasons in our practice. Sometimes you're deep into spell work, really feeling that pull to craft and create. Other times you're more reflective, letting your intuition lead the way without needing to do much at all. That's the natural ebb and flow of the craft, and it's perfectly fine. Witchcraft is a living, breathing thing. It grows and changes just like we do. So what makes someone a witch if it's not the spells? It's that sense of wonder, that feeling that there's more to this world than meets the eye. It's about honoring the cycles of the earth, the phases of the moon, and the quiet whispers of your own spirit. It's about knowing that you're part of something bigger, something ancient and powerful. And that connection, that awareness, that's the real core of being a witch. So let's talk about that a little more. Witchcraft is also about choice. You choose how you practice, what you believe, and how you honor that spark of magic within you. Maybe today that means lighting a candle and whispering a prayer. Maybe tomorrow it means doing nothing but sitting in the sun and soaking up the warmth. Either way, you're still in the flow. You're still a witch. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you have to do things by the book to be valid. But remember, there is no book that can truly tell you how to be you. Your path is yours alone, and it's shaped by your experiences, your joys, and your struggles. If you feel that pull to live intentionally, to see the magic in the world around you, and to honor that spark of mystery inside, then congratulations, you're a witch, spell or no spell. For those who love the craft of spellcasting, keep on weaving those threads of intention. For those who don't feel like you're missing out. You're still weaving your magic every time you choose to live with purpose and presence. And honestly, that's what the craft has always been about. Taking the ordinary and making it sacred, however that looks for you. So, to wrap it all up, let this video be your permission slip. Whether you're crafting elaborate rituals, meditating in your living room, or just talking to the moon when no one's watching, you're part of the lineage of witches that stretches back through time. You're honoring your spirit and you're connecting to the world, and that's what really matters. So there you have it, witchcraft in all its beautifully messy and endlessly personal glory. Whether you're the type to craft elaborate spells under a full moon or simply find comfort in watching the clouds drift by, your path is yours to create. The real magic doesn't come from the tools or the chants, it comes from the intention you bring into every breath, every heartbeat, and every quiet moment of wonder. It's about how you show up for yourself, your community, and the world around you. At the end of the day, being a witch isn't about ticking boxes or living up to someone else's idea of what's witchy enough. It's about honoring your journey, embracing your curiosity, and trusting your own rhythm. So whether you're lighting candles, tending a garden, or just taking a moment to breathe and feel the earth beneath your feet, know that you're walking the path of the witch in your own unique way. And honestly, that's the best kind of magic there is. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of Witch into Working. Do you cast spells? How often? Do you disagree with any of my thoughts I've just talked about in this video? Let us all know down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to ring that little bell to be reminded of the wonderful and exciting future episodes to come. I love you guys and gals. Blessed be.